plus that Josie-esque Pussycat Rachel Lee Cook, and that Jay-esque Mr. Leno. Your local news is next.
Another Duluth restaurant gets a break from the smoking ban. They're sandbagging in the Dakotas while the Northland keeps a close eye on lakes and rivers. And Northwest Airlines may have a contract deal with some of its workers. Your news starts now. Good evening. The Duluth City Council is considering an ordinance to repeal the city's smoking ban.
Some councilors want to get rid of the ban so they can study its effect on local restaurants. Ben Sanger was at tonight's meeting and has more. Ben?
Mark and Michelle, the ordinance to drop the ban is in its preliminary stages, but many people are already concerned with the outcome. The council listened to public comment on the issue at tonight's meeting. Several restaurant owners want the ordinance dropped because they say parts of it are unfair, but supporters of the ban would like to see improvements in the current ordinance.
The exemption amendment that is here is very well intentioned, and it's meant to not put people out of business, but every exemption that happens continues to erode our business as we try to uphold this ordinance.
If in fact this ordinance is broken, I can't see why we can't tweak it a little bit, add some enforcement provisions, do something.
Even though the authors of this proposal want to repeal the ban, they're hoping it will lead to a new ordinance that avoids the current criticisms. The council will likely hold a public hearing before making a final decision on the issue, but it did decide to grant another financial hardship exemption tonight. The Perkins in West Duluth is now the 5th restaurant to receive an exemption from the city's smoking ban. Mark and Michelle?
Ben, when is the earliest the council could make a decision on the smoking ban?
Michelle, the ordinance could be passed on April 23rd when it comes up for its second reading, but that may not be enough time to gather adequate public comment.
All right, thank you for that report. In Moose Lake, meantime, the citywide smoking ban has been in effect since last August. Spokesmen say, unlike Duluth, they've experienced no problems in making it effective, and they say they get few complaints. City Administrator Dave Talbot credits the ban's success to an all-or-nothing ordinance.
In our case, the City Council made it a total ban in all restaurants without any reservations, restrictions, appeals, or any other ways to change the conditions of the ordinance.
Talbot says Duluth has tried to accommodate too many different needs. He feels until they create a uniform policy, it'll continue to cause serious problems. The Minnesota House has passed a bill that would change the gun permitting process. The bill would keep local police from having a say in who can and cannot receive a gun permit. The vote gives new life to a measure a Senate committee voted down last week. Under the plan, sheriffs would be required to provide permits to applicants who are 21 or older, trained in firearms handling, and who clear a criminal background check. Governor Ventura is a big supporter of this bill.
The Northland will be getting a visit from U.S. Senator Paul Wellstone tomorrow. Wellstone will be at the St. Louis County Heritage and Arts Center in Duluth at 1:45. The senator is visiting the Twin Ports to discuss veterans' health care and strategies for ending the high number of homeless war veterans. Good news for summer travelers today. After years of stalemates, Northwest Airlines and its mechanics have finally reached a tentative deal.
A presidential emergency board was just days away from issuing a non-binding report that would have recommended settlement. A ratification vote will take place now sometime in the next 2 weeks. Rhonda Kinchlow has more on today's settlement.
Importantly, for all of our employees and for all of our customers, you can book on Northwest with confidence.
Northwest CEO Richard Anderson says the flying public has nothing to fear now that the airline and its mechanics have reached a tentative 4-year agreement.
It's easy to forget all the things that have happened, how we got here, but I can assure you that our members remember very clearly.
Negotiations for a new mechanics contract began 18 months ago, 2 years after the last contract expired. The key issues? Pay, specifically the starting salary, and pension, an increase in retirement benefits.
And we will be focused at Northwest on being certain that in the future we act with, and hopefully we'll be able to act with more dispatch in terms of being able to reach agreements more quickly.
Past relations between Northwest and its labor unions has been described as contentious, at times bitter, leading to a pilot strike 2 years ago But Anderson, who's been CEO officially less than 2 weeks, hopes to change that.
Well, I think we have generally a good working relationship with each of the labor unions at Northwest, and we'll continue to work on that relationship.
And the relationship the airline has with its passengers, who some believe will feel the squeeze in the form of ticket prices as a result of a new mechanics contract.
When you can fly from here to Miami for $99 for a flight, somebody is subsidizing that. And you know who it's been? Your aircraft mechanic.
Union members will vote on the contract by the end of April.
Details of the tentative contract have not been released yet, but the last offer the two sides were looking at proposed a 26% increase in pay.
There was also an offer on the table for a 112% increase in retirement benefits.
American Airlines has officially acquired most of TWA, making it the world's largest airline carrier. Earlier today, a federal appeals court cleared the way for American to buy TWA. American Airlines has agreed to pay $742 million for the airline, as well as assume $3.5 billion of TWA's debt. The combined company will offer travel to more than 300 cities worldwide and will have more than 900 aircraft in its fleet.
Another setback tonight in the effort to bring the 24 crew members of a U.S. spy plane home from China. A spokesman for the Chinese president says American statements about the collision between the plane, a Chinese fighter jet, are unacceptable. The crew of the Navy plane has been held captive for 9 days in China. China is still demanding a full apology from the Bush administration. Earlier today, President Bush warned that unless the crew is returned soon, relations between the U.S. and China could be damaged.
A man has been charged with murder in the death of the Keewatin man. Gene William Carpenter was indicted by an Itasca County grand jury today. Carpenter has been charged with 2 counts of murder in the first degree for the death of Mark Place Jr. Place was murdered around March 20th in Keewatin. Carpenter will make his first court appearance after he finishes a court-ordered evaluation. The Wisconsin Board of Regents has decided that a panel will hear arguments again surrounding the discipline of UWS professor John Martyr. For more on the case against Martyr, you can read Tuesday's edition of the Daily Telegram.
This past weekend's rainstorm continues to create trouble with sewer overflows in Duluth. The large volume of water pushed rocks and other debris through a sanitary sewer in Lincoln Park. It caused the sewer to overflow at 23rd Avenue West and 8th Street. The sanitary district has installed pumps to divert this sewage. A spokesman says crews will be working round the clock until the blockage is cleared. Residents in Breckenridge, Minnesota are preparing for the worst. Sandbagging continues today as the floodwaters of the Red River continue to rise. Breckenridge officials say they're shoring up their dikes to 22 feet. The National Weather Service expects the Red River to crest late Thursday or Friday at 20 feet. But folks in the area may be in for even more flooding, as these projections don't take into account a storm that's brewing for midweek.
Flooding could become a problem here again in the Northlands.
George, are those heavy rains in North Dakota headed our way?
In a word, yes. I tell you what, we're going to take it on the chin from a storm that is almost identical to the one that we had Friday into Saturday. The only thing I can say is at least it's not snow. If both of these had ended up being snow, we'd have it up to our chins. I guess that's something, but it is going to be very soggy. One thing I do want to point out, though, if we get a little precipitation the next 24 hours, that really isn't the storm at all. It's something else. Just if you look out there across central North Dakota, see that little spin in the atmosphere? Just some upper-level energy, and that has been enough to trigger some snow. Some wet snow, admittedly, up in the Arrowhead, but it has been around. And don't be too surprised if you see 1 or 2 wet snowflakes in your part of the world tonight as that system gets closer. Also, don't be shocked if it's 1 or 2 sprinkles. Our temperatures are borderline, but that isn't it. The main show is way down there to our south and to our west, but I will show it to you in just a few minutes. Did want to show you these temperatures. 31 at the airport, 38 over in Grand Forks. A lot warmer, though, when you head to the south. 46 in the cities, 52 in Des Moines. And if you look at the corner of your screen there in southern and central Illinois, temperatures are still well into the 60s at this hour of the night. Complete details on your national weather when I come back, but in a special look at that brewing storm.
Thank you, George. Flooding has forced MnDOT to close a portion of Highway 123 between Ascove and Sandstone.
Officials say there are several areas where water is a foot deep across the road. No timetable has been set for the road to reopen. MnDOT officials advise drivers to use detours to avoid the flooded area. The city of Floodwood is looking for volunteers to help sandbag if the rivers spill over their banks later this week. The city plans to start sandbagging efforts tomorrow morning at 8:30. Now, if you're interested in volunteering, call the Floodwood City Hall and leave your name and phone number. The number to call is area code 218-476-2751.
Steam and stretching are going hand in hand in a new exercise routine. Coming up next, we'll get you in touch with a special brand of yoga that's heating up exercise enthusiasts.
The Twins finally come home trying to put a stop to their 2-game losing streak, and a cowboy hangs up his saddle. That's all later on News 6 at 10.
Keeping you in touch with today's news with Michelle Lee, Mark Mallory, meteorologist George Kessler, Tom Hansen Sports, and special reports from Barbara Riles. You're watching News 6 at 10.
Spring into Menards for big savings on a great selection of patio furniture, like this 5-piece resin set from Gracious Living. It includes 4 stackable chairs and a 36-inch table. On sale just $24.99. Snap up big savings on Polaroid single-use cameras. This 27 exposure model is just 99 cents after $3 rebate. But flash is only $3.99 after rebate. Picture big savings at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
When you're out on the water having a good time, you don't want to settle for second best. You want to have an outboard with a reputation of being the durability and reliability leader. You want the best. You want a Yamaha outboard.
When you want the best, Yamaha, Yamaha.
Yamaha outboards, when you want the best.
Visit RJ Sport and Cycle, 4918 Miller Trunk Highway, Duluth.
It's hard to keep up with the other kids when you've been smoking all your life. Secondhand smoke. Still want to breathe it.
In my life, I've had one wonderful husband, 3 snowblowers, 4 televisions, but only 1 Happy Sleeper mattress.
Happy Sleeper's finest premium mattress sets are guaranteed to last your lifetime. Built entirely by hand since 1895.
You like me.
Hey, where can I get some Asiago cheese?
Scusi?
Next stop, Scusi!
Subway introduces 2 new fresh-baked gourmet breads, Asiago cheese and country wheat with rolled oats and poppy seeds. Subway. Eat fresh.
Later on an all-new Tonight Show, Whoopi Goldberg hits the jackpot.
You won like some huge jackpot in Vegas.
I won a lot of money.
Plus, Josie and the Pussycats' Rachel Lee Cook, a wayward pussycat, and headlines.
Waitress wanted. Work from home.
Then on Conan, Julianne Moore and Ice-T tonight.
You're in touch with News 6.
If you're looking for a fitness challenge, Bikram Yoga may be what you're looking for.
Whether you're a seasoned athlete wanting to shape up or you're suffering from an illness, some say this is the workout for you. Chris May has the details.
Life is different today for Karen Smyers. A world-class athlete, she won the most grueling and challenging of all athletic events, the Ironman Triathlon. 2 years ago, she was at the pinnacle of her career, but during a routine checkup, her doctor broke devastating news.
Thyroid cancer.
At 39, and now without a thyroid, it's a comeback year.
I found that my traditional training, the swim, bike, run, I mean, it's great, but it's just not quite doing it for me right now.
So she turned to yoga.
I was shaking in the class.
It's called Bikram Yoga, and it's done in a room with a temperature of more than 100 degrees. And people who practice the technique swear by its results.
This has totally changed my life.
I come to yoga because it's like going to my shrink, a masseuse, a chiropractor, and a dermatologist all in one visit.
Whatever you're trying to do with your body, whatever your goals are,
yoga will do that for you.
Lauren Fawcett of Yoga Does It in Cambridge turned to Bikram yoga when rheumatoid arthritis prevented her from long-distance running.
I had to find something that gave me the same endorphin release.
While to some it may look like simple stretching, don't be fooled. It's one of the most intense workouts you could ever do.
There's a lot of difficulty, and it just takes practice.
But the good thing, it's great for all fitness levels.
Karen is an example of the peak athlete. However, I work with people who are extremely overweight, who are not flexible in the slightest, and they choose to come here. They take a chance on it. They hope for the best, and they keep coming back.
I think it can help people on so many different levels, really, that I can't think of anyone that wouldn't benefit in some way from it.
Now, this yoga has been proven by the American Medical Association to aid in the detoxification of the body.
Will sunshine in the Northland be a stretch later this week?
Georgia's 6-day forecast is up next.
Now get up to $2,000 cash allowance or low APR financing on Dodge Ram.
For a whole new dimension of gaming excitement, come to Fond du Lac Casino. It's like nothing you've ever played before. Play your favorite game and automatically qualify for gigantic prizes. You could win instant cash every Sunday. A total of $2,250 will be given away with a grand prize of $1,000. See Casino for details. For bigger and better entertainment, look to Fond du Lac Casino, where the good times are exploding.
You're watching News 6, winner of the Edward R. Murrow Award for News Documentary.
Cellular One has plans that fit the way you talk, like all the who's, whens, whys, and wheres of how you talk. Whether you talk a little or a lot, whether it's business or personal, or you need a wireless phone simply for safety's sake, we have it. Stop by Cellular One today. Get double minutes and a free phone. Plus, buy one feature, get one free. So however you talk, we can put a plan together for you. Cellular One. Plans that fit the way you talk.
Secondhand smoke contains nicotine. Nicotine is a dangerous drug. In a room where others are smoking, it spreads everywhere and ends up inside the body of every single person there. There are no exceptions.
Meteorologist George Kessler holds the seal of approval from the American Meteorological Society.
It'd be nice if this wind would just drop down a notch or two. It's getting crazy out there.
It is, and this is just regular run-of-the-mill wind.
Yeah.
And we're going to just power back up. You know those winds that we had Saturday morning?
Yeah, those wicked winds.
They were tremendous.
Yeah.
We're probably going to see similar winds this week. This storm, it's like somebody slapped it on the copier. That Saturday one.
You got to pull out your jet stream again pretty soon.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
We should dig
you
that
haven't
out.
had that one.
Well, we can talk about the jet stream tonight, but first, we have to find some people who think this is ducky.
Canada geese.
Or goosey. I
it's
like.
good to
Well,
see
there's
them.
some ducks too.
Yeah.
There's some mallards. You know, I actually heard from my parents this weekend, and they have a nesting pair on the irrigation pond. Since we don't really have lakes in Virginia the state, they're very pleased by this. Swamps we have, but they're full of snakes, so we don't talk about what happens to the ducks there. Anyway, there they are. This is in our part of the world where it's comfortably cool still, but the ducks seem to be getting on just fine. And it is a nice sign of spring to see the wildlife really beginning to perk back up. I've been seeing the foxes again, so nature is awaking. A little rain won't set us back too far. Let's go on outside. The wind is lively tonight and brisk, and this really isn't being pushed by a big storm. It's going to get pushed around a lot. I was lucky. See, this last one, I managed to be off for the weekend. This next storm, you're going to see me buffeted out here with just drenching rain and huge winds. It's going to be an experience. Again, like we need another one, but we're going to get it. At least this will finally finish off the snow cover. We still have some ratty, scraggly patches left. This will really do it to them. 31 at the airport, 34 in the harbor, 34 in Superior. I expect these temperatures not to change very much for about the next 3 days. And when I say not change very much, I mean not change more than a degree or two either way, because you get the wind off the lake. The lake is at 34 degrees. That's the temperature downtown because of a very persistent wind out of the east. You'll get a lot more swing up north once you get away from the lake. Hibbing could be as warm as the upper 40s tomorrow and then cool down into the upper 20s at night. There's that wind. Pressure is rising. Humidity 95%. There are areas of fog right along the brow of the hill, so motorists be careful. Numbers around the region, I'll get out of the way. You can pick out your favorite town. Hayward 37, 36 in Ironwood, but it's also 36 up in International Falls. Areas in between, slightly cooler, but not a whole lot. 30 Ely, Silver Bay, and Grand Marais. Looking across the country as a whole, just feast your eyes on these numbers. Whenever you see the peach, think 80+ degrees. And this is from an area that has been sitting, if not as cool as we are, at least moderately cool for the last 5 or 6 months. Watch what happens. Look at that heat. Right up to Chicago. The front's just sitting there and goes right along the lakes, Toledo, Cleveland, Erie, on over toward Buffalo. To the north, early spring, cool temperatures, 30s and 40s, into the south, well up into the 80s. You have a lot of energy packed into that contrast. But if it's just sitting there, it won't do anything. It's like neighbors that don't get along, but there's really nothing to set them off. Well, here comes the new bike, and that's really going to start some problems. The jet stream has been getting down to the south, and it's been providing a lot of more deep moisture from the tropical Pacific. That's being hauled in. Now we have energy pinwheeling around through Southern California. Same setup we had last week. Just boom. And this will take off and roar, and by Wednesday we're going to be talking about some very serious wind and heavy rains again, and the creeks haven't recovered from this weekend. Snow tracker, just a little bit to show you in North Dakota and also some in our own backyard. And look at those horrible storms. Look like a gash across southern parts of Ohio. Terrible severe weather in that part of our world. Here's our snow. Most of it in the less inhabited areas. Now I realize that Babbitt and Bears and Ely are seeing some light snow coming down. It won't last for terribly long, and I'm not anticipating a lot in the way of accumulation. By this time tomorrow, that storm beginning to get itself going and starting to pull in this direction. So here's your forecast for tonight. Some mixed showers of rain and snow. Mainly snow, though, up north. Temperatures right around freezing for a low. Then for tomorrow, a lake breeze. It'll stay in the lower to middle 30s right along the water. Inland areas, though, get one last shot at the 40s, which isn't bad, but the clouds will be very persistent. As we go into Wednesday, more thunder and lightning possible with the heavy rain and the high winds. Most likely see a peak breeze right around the 6 o'clock show on Wednesday night, so tune in to watch me get soaked and buffeted. We'll see some improvement after that, but the week will not be warm by any stretch. Mark and Michelle.
Okay, thank you, George. Still to come on News 6 at 10, saying goodbye. A former Cowboys signal caller calls it quits today in Dallas.
And was it a good reunion for the Twins as they held their home opener today? Thompson next with your sports.
I've examined thousands of diamonds during my 2 decades as a gemologist, each one unique, but the beautiful ones are ideally cut. That's why I recommend Lazar diamonds. Their brilliance is scintillating. You expect quality and professionalism from a certified gemologist. It's my reputation and it's my business. So I sell Lazar diamonds, totally natural and ideally cut here in America. I'm David Nielsen, certified gemologist, Stone Lake, Wisconsin.
Murphy McGinnis Newspapers, the window to your world.
Ford Focus. Great gas mileage, great price at your Northland Ford store.
Okay, kids, you're back in school, hitting the books, studying, doing your homework. But hey, your teachers are working hard too. News 6 is giving you the chance to show your teachers how much you appreciate them. Just send us a note or enter online and tell us why your teacher deserves the Golden Apple Award. One teacher will be chosen each month, will be featured in a special report on News 6 at 6, and will win some great prizes. So do your teacher a favor. Finish your homework, then nominate him or her for the News 6 Golden Apple Award. Brought to you by News 6 and these fine sponsors.
This spring, get on the move.
And join thousands of Americans in the MS Walk to fight multiple sclerosis.
It's not a race.
It's a walk.
Anyone can do it.
It's a day of fun and coming together,
where every dollar raised helps change the lives of people with MS.
To register, call 1-800-FIGHT-MS.
The cure is only steps away, and you can be part of it.
And now, sports with Tom Hansen.
Baseball indoors tonight.
The Twins home opener.
That's a good thing it was indoors. Would have been a little chilly to play a little baseball tonight in Minnesota, no question about it. Twins held their home opener tonight in downtown Minneapolis in front of 46,000 fans. But earlier in the day, as Roxanne Battle found out, Twins fever was running high at the Mall of America.
Good morning, how we doing?
Opening day began early, 5:30 a.m. on the plaza, where Wally the Beer Man passed out free Dome Dogs, donuts, and tickets to tonight's home opener.
How about you need tickets for tonight? We're looking at about 45,000 tonight. I think we're going to have a great time. I'm excited. I think everybody's excited. Everybody's excited.
At noon, baseball loyalists met legends.
My first home run in 1959 I hit on opening day, so that was in front of the president in Washington, D.C.
An exciting moment at the Mega Mall for young fans like 5-year-old Zachary Chancellor and for Lynn Sutter, who has sat behind home plate since the Twins won the World Series in '91.
Oh, I just love baseball, and I'm excited with the team we've got.
You think they're on their way back?
Absolutely.
So does the team's owner, who always looks forward to opening day. On this day, when the past met the present, both predicted good things to come.
And Mark Redmond and Joe Mays, two really fine young pitchers, and when you look at the rest of the ball club, I think they've got a nucleus of a fine young ball club, and with a club like that, you can't tell what they might do.
I just hope they continue to stick with us this season and just hang it out with us, because it's a long season. We got 6 months here in Minnesota, and I think good things are about to come.
Thanks, Roxanne. The Twins on the field looking to end their 2-game losing streak. They put Torrey Hunter on the 15-day disabled list again. 46,000 fans watch this as Denny Hocking leaped the fence to snare the ball away from Damian Easley. It looked like he had a home run there. Well, Robert Fick did have a home run in the same inning. And nobody was going to get that one. 1-0 in favor of Detroit. That was the last time Detroit led in this game. Christian Guzman with a double down the right field line. That scores 2. Doug Mankiewicz and also A.J. Przinsky. A.J. comes around to score. It's 2-1 Twins in the bottom of the third. They had a huge third, scoring 6 runs. David Ortiz with a walk. That scores a run. Denny Hocking again up the plate. Again a double down to right field. Again that scores 2. And the Twins folks had a big lead at the Dome. They went on to win 11-5 your final score. They've now taken all 3 games against Detroit this season. Local baseball teams are still looking to play outdoors this year. Northwestern of Maple was supposed to face Ladysmith at home today, but that game was postponed. But they are expected to face Solon Springs tomorrow afternoon in Solon Springs to open the local season. Tigers 9-10 a year ago. Our own Dave Anderson will have more on the Tigers baseball team tomorrow at News 6 at 6 o'clock. The year of firsts have almost come to an end for the Minnesota Wild. Their inaugural year is now in the books, and now they head into their first offseason. Yesterday, the Wild completed a season that brought the NHL back to Minnesota for the first time in 7 years. They fell to Colorado 4-2 yesterday. General Manager Doug Risebrough called it the most gratifying season he's ever had. The Wild highlights include setting an expansion attendance record, going on an 8-game unbeaten streak in December, and their 6-0 victory over the Dallas Stars.
I've been given a great opportunity here. There's no doubt about that. I've actually played some different roles throughout the year. I've had a great opportunity offensively to get some power play time. I've also killed penalties like I've done in the past with other teams, and it's been a great opportunity, and it's been a fun year for myself and everybody on the team.
Elsewhere in the NHL, the Flyers beat Buffalo yesterday thanks to the play of Cloquet native Derek Plant. Plant had a goal and an assist in the Flyers' 2-1 win over the Sabres, his former team. Those two teams will play again in the opening round of the Stanley Cup playoffs later this week. For Plant, it was his first goal of the year with the Philadelphia Flyers. He had about 30 points with their AHL team this season. And Troy Aikman's NFL career ended today. The three-time Super Bowl champion announced his retirement at a news conference at Texas Stadium. Aikman suffered 4 concussions in his last 20 starts at today's affair. He said he knows his decision is the right thing because of his health, concussions, and back problems. And Mark and Michelle look for him to wind up in the broadcast booth. Surprise, surprise.
That would
somewhere.
make sense.
Yeah.
Or maybe even coaching down the road, too, perhaps.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, we'll be right back. Stay with us.
The completely redesigned Chrysler minivans now come equipped with yet another standard feature. Because Consumers Digest named Voyager a Best Buy. And AMCI called Town & Country the best minivan ever. Now get a $1,500 cash allowance on Chrysler minivans. So get to your Chrysler dealer today, because with award-winning values like these, you'll be the one with something to brag about.
Change things up. Something new, something different. McDonald's new tastes menu.
For breakfast, there's our new bacon, egg, and cheese bagel sandwich. Crispy bacon, egg, and cheese all on a toasted bagel. What about lunch and dinner? Try our mouth-watering new Big McBacon cheeseburger with hickory smoked bacon.
The new tastes menu. Always changing, always at McDonald's.
Try the bacon, egg, and cheese bagel and Big McBacon cheeseburger today.
This gorgeous queen-size bed is now just $388.
Come and get it.
It's Slumberland's lowest price ever. Very sleek, very warm, with a rich cherry finish. At just $388, it's a lot of look, so don't sleep on it, move on it. And that goes for a Sealy Posturepedic queen set at just $266. Over 70% off, and definitely Slumberland's lowest price ever. Plus, make no payments and pay no interest till 2002. The lowest price ever sale at Slumberland Furniture.
Come and get it.
Before it's gone.
What should a good relationship really look like? Take the perfect marriage quiz. True or false? You never ever argue. Sex is always wild. You tell your partner the truth about everything. True? Not. Stop playing games with your relationship. Dr. Phil explodes the top 10 myths about marriage. This is good. Next, Oprah.
Tomorrow at 3 on News 6.
Keep in touch with the day's weather by calling the News 6 QuestX info line at 727-2131, extension 6666. Brought to you by News 6 and QuestX.
And George is back out in the garden with a final look at the forecast. George?
Hey, Mark, going to take a look at the snow tracker first. This is where we're seeing the snow showers. Ely and then parts of Lake and Cook County also having snow. Coming down in pretty good bursts, but it doesn't last for very long. Don't be surprised, though, to see that out and around there, not only tonight, but tomorrow morning. After that, all eyes turn toward a big storm in the middle part of the week. A lot of wind, a lot of rain, maybe even some thunder and lightning. We'll have more details on that tomorrow. Shouldn't get here until Wednesday.
All right, thank you, George, and thanks for watching tonight.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Men's clothing provided by Mainstream Fashions for Men in the heart of downtown Duluth.
'92.1 Kiss FM. Paul and Gene in the morning. Hit music all day. Kiss FM. Kiss FM. Thanks for making us the most listened to radio station in the Northland. Kiss FM, proud to be everyone's favorite.
My wife was always getting on my case about smoking. She said, it's bad for you. It makes the drapes smell. She even threatened to stop kissing me if I didn't quit. I said, it's my lungs and it's my life. But I was wrong. I didn't quit. I had no idea the life I'd lose wasn't mine. It was hers. 'Cause she was my life. My wife was my life.
You can keep in touch with the latest news, sports, and weather with just the touch of a button. Call the News 6 Information Guide at 727-2131 and get the latest in local and national news, sports, and up-to-date weather information from the Northland's only team of meteorologists 24 hours a day. Just look for the News 6 page in the Information Guide of your QuestX Yellow Pages. Stay in touch at home or on the go with News 6 and QuestX. The information you want right at your fingertips. Stay in touch.
You're watching NBC, America's late night leader.
From the NBC studios in Burbank, The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Featuring Kevin Eubanks and The Tonight Show Band. And me, I'm Ed Hall. Tonight, Jay welcomes Whoopi Goldberg. From Josie and the Pussycats, Rachel Lee Cook. The music of Trick Daddy featuring Casey and the Sunshine Band. And headlines. And now, Jay Leno.
Welcome to the Tonight Show. Nice to see everybody. Nice to have you here. As you know, the situation in China seems to have reached a stalemate. The Chinese say they're not going to return our crew until we apologize. The United States says we're not going to apologize. See, here's a situation where we need to bring back Bill Clinton. Who's better at saying I'm sorry and not really meaning it than Bill Clinton? I'm so sorry. Well, latest word is Jesse Jackson has offered to go to China to help release the crew.
There you go.
China said no. They said no. I guess they figured, like, we got enough problems with overpopulation now. Okay, the last thing we need is more little kids running around here. Just forget it. But actually, some progress being made in the spy plane incident. Today, China said they will allow a couple of guys from State Farm to go out and take a look at the plane. You know, like the Chinese to be going, that dent was there before. No, that dent in the back was there before. We didn't do that. Now, it seems after meeting with the Chinese, they have more demands. Here's a tape from a spokesman of the Chinese government today. More demands they want from the U.S. government. Again, since most people do not speak Chinese, I have translated the demand. Well, here, take a look. Here's the first one here. From now on, they want to refer to Murray Povich as Mr. Connie Chung. That's number one.